Hi, how are you tonight? All right, now the invite has come up. Tonight we're going to do some restorative yoga for the kids too. And just going through and inviting people so they can find me. Hi, is Ethel here? I bet you that's Ethel. And Cindy, my steady people who have been in class. Oh, hi, Carol. Good to see you. Nice surprise. So, there's Cindy. Okay, and the kids may be joining in soon. So, for the beginning of this, if you have a bolster at home, and my bolsters are a pretty good size. So Carol, the bolsters, from the rec center are about half the size. I would say to put two together. Or if you don't have one of those, then to take a blanket, and you want a pretty firm blanket, and fold it in half, and then again in half, and then one more time in half, or can fold it thirds and then fold it over, and you can see that makes pretty close to that bolster. And maybe you fold two blankets and stack them on top of each other. Now this blanket is a very special blanket, and I'm going to click in one more invite. And so Linda is the one who made these, and I'm doing the invites because Facebook came up with a new format. And so in the new format, I couldn't figure out, this is my kitty cat Luna. She's named after the moon, and she's about 6 months old, out of my kids' litter, and I'm gonna let her stick and hang out with us here. So this blanket was made for me by a good friend, Linda. And no, you're not going to dig into that blanket. No, Linda would not be happy with me. And take this blanket, and Wyatt, Henry, let me start at the bottom. Henry, Wyatt, and I'm going to fold this into thirds. And then if I put that on top of that one, see how that makes like a nice bolster to use. So, starting my official greeting tonight, I am going to start out with Henry, Cora, Wyatt, Ricky, Angelo, and everyone who's out there who has been following me for the past 26 days. Thank you for coming in and joining me. So, in going through different styles of yoga, with this being a very holy time of year in many different religions, part of that is a quieting and introspection, maybe, and gratitude. So tonight I decided to do a restorative practice, and Sunday I will probably do a restorative practice as well. And tomorrow night is going to be a gentle, slow flow. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week we'll kick it back up a little bit. So props, you can make your props with your blankets. You can use sofa cushions. Maybe you have blocks at home, and maybe not. Maybe you're using books. So the first series of poses is something a little bit different. And if you have a blanket, keep the blanket nearby or the pillow. And when I do restorative, I do what I call a gentle restorative blend, where I hold the poses for maybe 3-5 minutes tops. A typical restorative class, you would be holding 4, maybe 5 poses for 10 to 15 minutes each. Most of the people that I know really can't sit still that long. So this is what I call my gentle restore fusion. And so my first pose, and I'm going to use the bolster for this and a blanket on top because I want just a little bit more. And with this, now I'm going to take it so that it's next to my left hip, but my feet are on the earth. And I'm gently going to bring my stomach to the bolster and the hands to either side, and gently feel this gentle pose of rest and relaxation. Now maybe I would like a deeper twist in my spine. I can pick up my head and turn my head in the opposite direction of my knees. Now if your neck is tender, keep your face pointing in the same direction as your knees. And breathe in, and a great big audible sigh out. And then in restorative yoga, we do just a gentle breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And maybe at home you choose to put on some gentle background music. And I'm going to hold this just for another couple minutes because maybe we had some time getting into the pose. Other option is to take another blanket or a gentle sofa pillow and gently put that between your knees so the hips level out. And then of course you can cover yourself with a blanket to keep yourself nice and toasty warm. Yes, I know. She can't figure out why we come and hang out in this room for 3 or 4 hours a day. Inhale, gently walk our hands back up. And we're gently going to bring the opposite hip, and I'm going to bring the bolster to the other side. And gently bring my right thigh to the bolster. And gently walk the stomach down. And again, bringing my head in the same direction as my knees. Maybe I choose to turn my head in the opposite direction. Breathing into it. Yes, I know you want to help me teach. Yes. She's a good girl. Found the cat scratchers for her. Ah, that's not a toy. And gently breathing into this. Now, gently pushing our hands back up. And we're going to bring the bolster long ways. And in heart bench opening, come into a restorative fish. So, with maybe you want that blanket bolster or the second bolster under your knees, not required. Bringing ourselves so that the bolster comes about to the base of our shoulder blades, gently allowing our head to come over. And this is where maybe the sofa cushion comes into play. If your neck is tender, bringing the sofa cushion and gently let the hands come to either side. Melting into this restorative fish. And if you don't have the bolster or the pillows, and you know the version with the blocks and you have blocks, by all means use your blocks and gently breathe into it. Now, gently bring ourselves to the right side. And again, gentle side twist. Maybe that blanket comes in between the knees. And as you come onto the side, your head can rest on your arm, and you can bring that left arm up and over. Gently inhale, bring ourselves back to the other side. So I'm going to gently turn again so that I'm continuing to face the camera in this pose. And she says, "What'd you do? You took away my warmth." So again, I have the bolster just under my ribs. So this is a little different feeling in the side twist. And for those of you who know my history, when I had issues with my hip and was in the acute phase of that, I did restorative yoga and Reiki to build myself up, physical therapy, and I did go to my core yoga classes and pattern my foot. So it was a wonderful healing time for me. Now gently bring ourselves over top of our blanket or our bolster as we come onto our stomach, bringing our forearms out in front. So our hips and our stomach are connected to the mat. And we're coming into a restorative version of Sphinx pose. And what I like about this series with the bolster, right about the scapula level, with the restorative fish and the second side bends, and then our Sphinx, is this is also about the level of our lungs. And so being aware of when we breathe in and breathe out. And of course, my absolute most favorite thing to do here. Let's put our lion's breath roar in, stick out our tongue, and roar. And again, roar. And one more time, roar. Breathe into it. From here, gently bring ourselves back up. Bring our knees wide. Now take the bolster long ways and maybe bring it in between your legs. Maybe you sit on the bolster as you come into a child's pose. That's too much for me. I like it just gently between the thighs and then gently coming forward, coming into my wide like child's pose. And you can put your head on your hands You could put your head on the bolster and the hands come to either side. I like to turn my head gently, and maybe I'll turn it this way first. And then I'm going to turn my head the other way. Now in transitioning, maybe you move the bolster, push up into downward dog, feel a downward dog and that gentle stretch. Maybe you simply bring your legs out in front. I'm taking the stretch of downward dog, gently coming from side to side, breathing into it. Gently walking through and coming into seated. And again, maybe you gently turned yourself around onto the mat. Now taking the bolster under the knees and gently hinge forward. Here, you want to come in? I know it's chilly in here. Here you go. You can sit right here. I'll hold you. And maybe the pets get into this tonight, maybe not. When I do restorative in person, I gently go around the room and give Reiki in every pose. But tonight I'm joining you in the practice. So well, yes, I am going to move again. Yes, I am. Gently inhale up. Now, maybe you take your blanket bolster I'm going to use this one, it's a little bit firmer, and bring your blanket bolster right behind your spine, and then maybe you take your sofa cushion, and we're going to bring the soles of our feet together and come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So if you do Supta Baddha Konasana without the bolster, maybe you simply come flat onto the mat. Yes, I know, you want to be part of the show. And come flat onto the mat and bring your arms up overhead, palm to elbow, palm to elbow. Maybe you use the second bolster, and maybe you use the pillow or a block and gently bring the arms to either side. Yes, I'll keep you warm. And come into Supta Baddha Konasana, breathing into it. Now I am definitely moving much faster through the poses than a typical restorative class. Like I said, I know that most of the people like to move, but you could actually fall asleep in some of these poses. I think I did almost fall asleep here. Gently bring ourselves up. Gently coming forward. Cobbler pose, forward fold. Gently. Soles of the feet coming together. Maybe holding the feet. One more breath. Inhale, bring ourselves back up. Bring our knees together. Gently move the blanket behind. And we're going to come into restorative bridge pose. So maybe you bring your tailbone to the bolster and gently bring yourself down onto the mat. Now, I know some people, the bolster is too much, that the blanket is preferred, and you want to feel this right along your tailbone. Bring your palms up and gently breathe into this restorative bridge. Now gently take the bolster back to the knees and gently let both knees come over to the right as the arms come out in a T, maybe cactus arms if you're making way for your kitty cat or puppy dog, and look to the opposite side so the knees are coming to the right and we're looking to the left as we breathe into it. Gently bring our knees over to the left. Maybe you gently lift your sit bones to resettle as you look to the right. Now coming back to center, bringing the bolster under the hips one more time. And maybe you come back into restorative bridge. Maybe you take it deeper and let the legs come out onto the mat. And maybe bring your hands up behind, under your head, or palm to elbow, and come into a restorative wheel. So if your low back says keep your knees bent, keep your knees bent. Maybe you straighten one leg at a time. Maybe you straighten both legs out, breathing into it. Now gently walking the knees in, bring the bolster back to the knees and gently come over to the side. Maybe you want to take the spinal twist deeper and bring your legs up like a chair and gently bring the legs over to the right. Bring that left arm out and feel this deep spinal twist. So again, you can keep the bolster underneath and do the same thing, or come deeper into the spinal twist. Gently bring the feet to the mat. Lift the sit bones up, bring the knees over to the left. as you look to the right. Now coming back to center. Maybe you have the bolster under your hips and bring your legs straight up for legs up the wall. Maybe you have your legs on the sofa or the chair, or however, hands can be down by your side. She's chasing the shadows on the wall. So maybe the bolster comes under your tailbone. And since I have it here, I am gently going to turn myself around and bring my sit bones right up against this wall. And one of the things that I really love doing is making a butterfly cocoon. So if you have a blanket and can wrap it around your feet, so as you come up the wall, your legs are covered in a blanket like a butterfly cocoon, and it just feels warm and nurturing. You can take another blanket and bring it across your chest. So today was one of those gray, cold days. Breathing into it. And just allow yourself to let go. I love this pose. So, option to hold here through Savasana, or gently bring yourself flat out onto the mat, bringing the palms up. Maybe you stay covered with the blanket. Maybe you use a pillow. I like the blanket in Savasana. So tonight in Savasana, again, I'm going to beam Reiki energy out to all of you. If you would like to receive the Reiki energy, you can ask it to come to you. If you would like it to pass you by, simply ask it to pass you by. Gently beaming. Gently opening the eyes, moving the eyes from right to left and up and down, and up and down and left to right. Close the eyes. Thank them for all that they do. Gently turn our heads from right to left and left to right. Taking a great big inhale in, gently wiggling our fingers and toes, stretching our arms all the way up overhead, bringing our knees into our chest on the mat, and maybe you keep that blanket on you tonight. Gently wrapping our arms around our knees, gently coming from side to side. Gently roll over onto the right side. Pausing and thanking ourselves for our practice. Bringing our hands to the mat, gently pushing up one vertebrae at a time. Coming into easy cross-legged position. Bringing the left hand on top of the right and the thumbs coming together. Gently looking into the palm of our hands with our arms out. Mudra of introspection. Bringing our hands to heart center. Mudra of gratitude. Thank you for practicing with me tonight. May the light within me salute the light within you. And when we are at this place, we are truly all the same. Namaste. Be happy, safe, and healthy until we meet again. And as always, I'm going to check in with everybody who's here tonight. Hi Cindy, it's good to see you. Ethel, I hope this worked out well for the niece. Carol, good to see you. Nancy, good to see you. Nina, good to see you. Little different than our Tuesdays. Trish, good to see you. Audrey, good to see you. Suzanne, good to see you. Jennifer, Cheryl, Debbie Lou, good to see you. Sister Blue will be up and rock and rolling again. Sarah, good to see you. Lisa, Rick Hayes, good to see you, my son. Scott, good to see you. Georgia, good to see you. Jerry, good to see you. Beth, good to see you. Billy Joe, good to see you. Stay safe, my friend. Sharon, good to see you. Donna, good to see you. Ashley, good to see you. Much love, Nina. Much love, Cindy. Restorative again on Sunday, and it will be restorative my style, the 3 to 5 minute hold. And tomorrow night we're going to do a slow flow. That doesn't mean easy, it just means slow. Thank you. Be happy, safe, and healthy until we meet again.